And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. This big mountain of a man is Shaquille O'Neal, and this hill of a man is Kenny the Jet Smith. LeBron James putting in some incredible work. He ended up with 22 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. Some great work from him in the first 2 quarters. What'd you think, Shaq, about Cleveland?
Well, Kenny should appreciate this. I love the ball movement. They were in sync as a unit, and their assist numbers were impressive. Anytime you get 5 players working together like that instead of one guy doing it alone, it's always going to be a boost. That's the primary reason they're in control of the game.
And over to Kenny now. Your take on the Kings.
They're being far less aggressive than they ought to be. The free throw differential is huge right now. It's threatening to determine the outcome of the game. So they have to get into the lane and challenge defenders to make them try to stop you.
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
Tough to come back. Cavaliers ahead, up by 12. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter gets underway. Wraps it up for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. So it's Indiana who's out on top at the half. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny, what do you think?
What a brilliant, unselfish half of basketball they just played. Their ball movement was absolutely impeccable. All in all, just beautiful basketball to watch.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
Well, first of all, as cold as they've been from the floor, I can't say I'm surprised by the score. You cannot shoot the ball that poorly and expect to be in the game, Ernie. They need better ball movement. If their offense stays this stagnant, they could forget about a comeback.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Nine points heading into the next quarter. Their defense has been terrific in this game. We'll return shortly. For our broadcast, for Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone. Magic up 5. 2K Sports back in a moment from the Amway Center.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken?
Ken, as we break down the action. It was a closely contested first quarter for Orlando. They got their lead up to as many as 8 points in the opening period. They just exploded in the second quarter, grabbing the momentum and running with it. Basket after basket, and they played stingy defense. Now they've got a halftime lead that's going to be very difficult to erase. What did you think, Kenny, about what we saw from the Magic?
Well, the bench came in and helped them run away with this one. Tremendous job of getting loose, getting open, and drilling shots. You always want that spark off the bench, and these guys delivered.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Hawks.
They relied way too heavily on the three-point shot in the first half. Their long-range game was off. That's my off sound, Ernie. They were off, but they still settle for the outside shots. They got to put more pressure on the defense by pounding it inside and attacking the basket.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. Back right after this. Now, for Brent Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. See you later. One quarter of play, still a close game. Celtics lead by 2. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. Gordon Hayward has been all over the floor tonight. He had 12 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
Kenny, how do you think Dallas played?
to me, they looked out of sync shooting the basketball. Under 40% for the first half. Some of it was poor shot selection, but mostly it just looked like they were out of rhythm. For the second half, they need to push more for buckets in transition. Get to the foul line a little bit more. Try to get back in the flow.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Getting a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We'll return shortly. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Down on that low block, using that length to his advantage.
We've got more in store for you right after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
It is a good game we have here after one half of play. Everybody, welcome back for our halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Grizzlies.
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough on the glass. It's been key so far.
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
underway on 2K Sports right after this.
Turnover issues. The offense looks forced right now, rush, there's no synergy to it. They have to find a way to work together and remain aggressive without making mistakes.
We do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. On 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The first quarter for the Hornets was fairly even. They never got too far behind as their largest deficit in the period was 8. The second quarter was a tight battle, but they were the slightly better team. Not by very much, however. Kenny, let's get your take on Charlotte.
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort to get the glass cleaned.
Shaq, what are your thoughts on Golden State?
Well, the low turnovers really stood out to me. They didn't get loose with it or make silly passes. Nothing was forced. They had a nice flow to the offense. Guys knew where to be on the floor. That's the heads-up style of play they need to bring in the second half.
And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
Strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
You wonder if these matchups aren't favoring them right now.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Jeremy Lamb.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
Joining us, that'll do it for now. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you later. And we'll get going after this from the BMO Harris Bradley Center.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time to check out the first half of action. A competitive matchup for Milwaukee in the first quarter. They were on a nice little roll in that opening period as they got their lead up as high as 7 points. Well, for the Bucks, Kenny?
Well, their ball movement was phenomenal. Now, they're in good position to win this game, in large in part because of those assists. And this is the thing, Ernie. When you win as a team, you feel better about everything that happens.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
Whatever their game plan was defensively coming in, that needs to change. Can't let a team shoot for a percentage in the high 50s and expect to come out on top. It's on the coaches and the players to adjust.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. Back right after this.
Sluggish out there. Oftentimes a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
What a connection he has to these fans. They love him here. And the more he has games like this, for now. But for Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. In New Orleans, we'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. A competitive matchup for New Orleans in the first quarter. They never dug too deep a hole for themselves in the first period. The most they trailed by was 5. Defensively and offensively, they improved quite a bit in the second quarter, and they've got a nice 8-point halftime lead to show for it. What did you think, Shaq, about New Orleans?
I like their commitment to that inside game, boy. Get it inside to the post. Got to be scoring in the post, splashing to the basket. Just shoot the high percentage shot. No jumpers, no threes. They're being a more aggressive team, the more physical team. They're definitely going to win this game, Ernie.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about Denver?
Well, they're facing a team that shot very well in the first half. Now, that being said, they probably weren't aggressive enough on the defensive end. That was the difference.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
On 2K Sports from New Orleans. They're behind by 3. 12 seconds left in the game. What do you think, guys?
You know, you'd love to be able to clear space and get that triple, but you can also do the 2 with a quick foul.
Well, it really depends on what's available, so we'll see how the defense lines up here.
Do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Brent Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. See you later.
Crafty enough to get up a good shot.
And so it's Miami, with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. They've set the tone. They love their tempo. They're going to be very tough to stop. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Goran Dragic has been the story in this one. He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. The first 2 quarters went very well for him. Kenny, let's start with you. What'd you think about the Heat?
Well, one place they had the edge was on the offensive boards. They converted those extra possessions into points. Nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than forcing a miss and then giving up a second attempt. The offensive glass is going to pay big dividends for them.
Shaq, what did you see from San Antonio?
The thing I like is their aggressive approach and getting to the line. You know, when things seem to stagnate on offense, it's sometimes a matter of forcing your will. This team can generate a lot of points and also dictate the pace of the game if they play with that aggressiveness.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Nicely done. You know, this is the discipline you need to play with. At this level, number of possessions matters.
And so it's the Miami Heat, with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back right after this. Check out some of the tremendous play tonight from our Jordan player of the game.
And tell you what, he's worked very hard to get himself in good position throughout the course of this game. And that comes across in his shooting percentage. He's hit over half his shots from the field. And that's not because he got hot as much as it's because of the effort he put in to get himself open.
Well, he needed a game like this badly. He's been struggling for a while now, but tonight he broke out of that slump in style. Folks, for Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. By 5. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. We saw Danilo Gallinari lighting it up in the first half. He had 13 points and 3 rebounds. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
So far, I love their commitment on the glass. Even when they were playing well, their rebounding remained a priority. And so far, the other side hasn't matched their efforts.
How about you, Shaq? What'd you think about Minnesota?
Well, one thing happened that really helped them out. Their bench came in and played absolutely beautiful. Gave them a huge boost. Not just trying to hold court, but actually putting points on the scoreboard. These guys should be starting, Ernie.
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
A 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. Karl Anthony Towns with a strong contribution so far in this one.
Boy, he's been relentless, and to this point, they haven't had an answer for him on the inside. Let's see if they make some adjustments coming out of the timeout.
Joining us, that'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. So long, everyone.